Oasis, Pastor Caleb here. I'm hopping on to put together one of these video devotionals that I talked about. We want to try and get one of these out, maybe daily, maybe semi-daily if we can manage it, to keep you all encouraged through a season that's difficult and a season that's very distant from our normal routine with church activity. So, today I read a very special passage in Isaiah chapter 40, and I want to share it with you. Isaiah chapter 40, starting in verse 27. This is God speaking through Isaiah the prophet. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel? My way is hidden from the Lord, and my right is disregarded by my God. So, Israel is claiming that God has run away, basically, that he's disregarded them in their right, it says. Now, the term there means in my justice. He's not giving me what I deserve. The circumstances that they're facing with the kingdom of Assyria sort of at their doorstep, threatening Jerusalem. They've already taken over the northern kingdom of Israel, but they're at the doorstep of Jerusalem, threatening to take it as well. And the Israelites are tired of it. They're exhausted. And that's kind of what happens when we find ourselves in circumstances like we are today, that are unexpected, that are unanticipated. Maybe it's the fact that your kids are home 24/7 now. They don't have school. You didn't know it, but you interviewed to be their school teacher and you got the job, right? Overnight. Nobody expected it. Maybe you're having to adapt to working from home, and maybe there's some circumstances, some situations that doesn't exactly make that ideal, and so tensions are high at work and you're just getting mentally exhausted from it all. I can tell you, I've had my season here trying to figure out the technology to put on our live stream services for Sunday, trying to ensure that I'm reaching out to people as best I can. It's been difficult in moments. And I can find myself feeling a little tired, losing strength, wondering, God, when are you going to show up in this? When are you going to resolve the conflict and the challenge? Why are you disregarding the lack of justice for us on earth right now? And here's what God says in response to Israel and their attitude. He says, have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not be faint. Even youths will fall and be weary. Even strong men will fail in their strength in the midst of a season like this. I don't care who you are, however talented you are, however good you are at adapting, it's going to wear on you after a while. If we continue to approach this season by our own strength and our own effort. I'll tell you, my wife, several nights ago, we're lying in bed and she asked me, so what's your plan tomorrow? And I looked at her with this sort of look like, are you kidding me? I don't know what my plan is tomorrow or the day after or a week from now. I had plans all set in motion for what we were going to be working on at church for a whole long season. And yet all of a sudden I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. And the passage says that those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. When it says those who wait on the Lord, it's not just talking about waiting in a temporal sense. It's not like we need to just kind of put up with it and survive this whole COVID-19 thing long enough for the ship to be righted, for God to show up, to fix all the challenges. If that's your approach, then the longer this takes, the longer this keeps going on, the more temptation I think you're going to have to turn to God and say, what's your deal? Hurry up, get the job done already. But that's not what this word wait here is necessarily implying. It's not just talking about surviving long enough and the temporal reality of when God's going to work and do his business. No, this is a statement of expectation. This is a statement of hope. It's a statement of seeking. See, on Friday, my wife came home from work, and I had to come here to the church to figure out some of the technology that we used in order to get our service online on Sunday morning. And when I left the house, my wife sent me a video. It was a video of our dog Denver. He had gotten up into the windowsill and poked his nose in between the blinds on the window so that he could see through and see where I had gone. And he stood there for minutes, wagging his tail, looking back and forth like he was hoping, like he was expecting, like he was desiring and searching for my car on the road. When was I going to turn around and come back to the house to play with him? That's the kind of waiting we're talking about here. It's not the kind of grumpy, pouty, sit on the couch because I'm dissatisfied with my circumstances, and when it gets fixed, it'll get fixed. No, this is I'm going to seek God in the midst of it. This is I may not know what I'm doing tomorrow yet, but I'm going to wake up excited and expectant for what the Lord would have for me, because if I can do that, if I can engage God that way and seek him out, look for him in the midst of a season like this, well then it says that my strength will be renewed, that we'll run and not be weary, that we'll walk and will not faint. You can't do this by your own power and by your own might. I can't do this by my own power and my own might. Pastoring this church immediately looked different starting last Wednesday than it had 3 days before. So here's what I want to do. In the comments below this video on Facebook, I want you to post the ways in which you've seen God show up. And maybe that showing up hasn't been fixing your circumstances. Maybe it's simply been encouraging your point of view. Maybe there was something that was said at church on Sunday that helped to shift your mindset a little bit, and God spoke to you and said, look at it this way, and he gave you strength and he gave you encouragement. Maybe it's a word from your child about how much they love you and your willingness to try and teach them in the season. Whatever it is, let's share. Let's encourage each other in the ways God is showing up and giving us strength in the midst of a time that feels so unjust, unexpected, and that we kind of wish would just get over with itself already. He will show up if we stand up in the windowsill and we search for him. I love you, church. Hang in there. I can't wait to talk to you again.